We went from 20 pounds of strawberries to almost nothing, but I'm not buying new plants. I'm letting the garden fix itself. And here's how you can too. Gardening isn't always a straight line forward. Some seasons you're swimming in strawberries, and other times you're just staring at weeds, wondering what happened. That was me last year, but the good news is, strawberries have a built-in survival plan. Runners. These little clones are how we're rebuilding this patch, and it's not gonna cost a dime. Strawberries and I, we've had an up and down journey. The first bed we ever planted had 2 amazing years, and then 1 very bad year. By the 3rd year, it was so overgrown with runners and weeds that the whole thing choked itself out. And in full disclosure, I was overwhelmed too. The bed worked, but was wide and didn't have any defined paths. By the end of that 2nd year, it was impossible to walk through without stepping on strawberries. In 2023, we harvested about 20 pounds of berries. By 2024, barely 2 pounds. That was tough. And that was the moment I realized we needed to make a fresh start. This year, we started fresh with a new 12-foot by 4-foot raised bed, just for strawberries. A couple of months ago, when we first planted it, there were only 2 plants, 1 in each end. Since then, we've been steadily working on this bed, rooting runners and multiplying plants. And now, instead of just 2 plants, this bed has about a dozen and counting. That's progress. Being able to see more and more green filling in has been good for the plants, but it's been just as good for me. So let's take a closer look at what's been happening in this bed over the past couple months. If you're enjoying this so far, please consider hitting the thumbs up and subscribe. It helps more gardeners find our little corner of the internet. One of the biggest lessons I've learned is knowing when to cut off runners and when to let them grow. During fruiting season, when you're focused on berries for eating, you cut the runners so the plant puts all its energies into the fruit. But when it's time to start preparing for next year, like we are right now, that's when we let the runners root. It's a clear shift in focus, 1 season for eating and 1 season for multiplying. And the beauty is that these strawberries are generous in both seasons. When it's time for fruit, they'll give you plenty of berries. When it's time for propagation, they'll throw out more runners than you think you can handle. Either way, the plants seem happy to give. So let's look at how to propagate strawberries from runners. First, spotting the runners. These are the long stems reaching out from a mother plant, with a baby plant and a tiny root node on the end. That's the runner. It's the plant's way of cloning itself.
Strawberry runners are like nature's copy machine. Each runner is a stem with a baby strawberry plant at the end. When it touches soil, those root nodes will start growing, and pretty soon, you've got a whole new plant.
Once you spot the runners, it's time to root them. I do this 3 ways. In a GreenStalk tower, I just pop the runner into the next empty pocket. Then the next pocket after that, and even the next one beyond. A single runner can give you multiple plants, one right after another, and some other plants will send out several runners at once. There is never a shortage. Or I'll put it in a cup of soil, making sure it's a container with good drainage and one that will get watered regularly, and use whatever I've got handy like teacup hooks, paper clips, twisty ties, bobby clips, landscape staples, or frankly just a small stone to hold it down. Or I just let it root directly in the bed, planting that new runner as far away from the mother plant as the stem will allow. After it's rooted and strong, it can easily be moved out further once the runner has been snipped. No extras required, no root stimulator, just get the root node in the contact with the soil and nature takes over. After a week or 2, you'll see roots forming. That's when it's time to cut the cord. I've had runners produce 2, 3, even 4 new plants on one stem. Each of those can be cut free and planted wherever you need them. And the good news is, strawberries don't mind if you disturb their roots. They're tough little plants ready to stand on their own. If you're finding this video useful, share it with another gardener who could use some more strawberries in their life. Also, we have a whole bunch of other videos that you can watch on various topics, so please feel free to browse around the channel. After that, it's patience and care. Keep them watered, let them grow, and by springtime, they'll be thriving. If you're in a colder climate, you can mulch them with straw or leaves to help them through the winter. But here in Zone 9B, our winters are mild. In fact, strawberries usually keep growing all winter long. The coldest spell we've had was 3 or 4 days down in the teens, and the strawberries thrived. The weeds all died back, and those dark green strawberry leaves stood proud. It was beautiful, almost like the plants knew their season wasn't over. A couple of quick extra notes. You can also divide a plant's crown into 2 if it's big enough. Another way to get more plants. And remember, strawberry plants don't last forever. In my garden, they usually live about 3 years, maybe 4 at best. That's why I keep propagating them. The older ones give us strawberries, while the younger ones take their place. I also like to tuck strawberries in different spots around the yard, so if one bed fails, another thrives. That gives me peace of mind. I learned this the hard way after losing about 50 runner plants to grass taking over. Since then, I've set up a propagation station in the south lawn near an irrigation head, where seedlings get regular water and are easy for me to manage. That system has made a big difference. And it's not just strawberries. I use that spot for the citronella cuttings we propagated in last month's segment, rosemary, Carolina jasmine from a job site, and now even sugarcane cuttings that have begun to take off. I traded about 30,000 loofah seeds with Daisy the Good for those.
Arr! This young swabby be setting sail for a new patch of soil.
Even Graybeard knows you can't keep a strawberry from finding new territory. So that's how we're turning a couple of strawberry plants into a whole bed. For free. It's not about being perfect, it's about making progress from last year. If last year was tough, don't let that stop you. It's time for a new start. And remember, strawberries are generous. In fruiting season, they'll give you more berries than you know what to do with. In propagating season, they'll give you more plants than you've ever expected. That generosity is a reminder that in our lives and in our gardens, we can give in every season. Keep an eye on the monthly raised garden bed tours for the progress in this bed as we go from here on out all winter long until we start producing in the spring. I hope you can see that butterfly right there because it just makes my day. Your garden doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be yours. Have a blessed day.